Thank you for opening up this web seminar. We really appreciate your interest in the Northeastern's Masters in Business Analytics program. What we intend to do with this short web seminar is to give you a better understanding of how this skill set, this program can apply to your own career track. You know, recently I've spoken with candidates with various backgrounds, a business analyst at an insurance company who studied economics, and she said she was tasked with setting up dashboards for sales productions and projections. I spoke with another who actually has a background in information science, but she was hired as an analyst to look at consumer care for B2B business in a coffee manufacturing company. And one thing she was looking at was operational effectiveness. Another, she was tasked with metrics for actually the online chat, which showed that consumers were using the online chat, and those consumers that did had a higher average volume in purchasing products and services. And she's been using it for digital marketing, really to analyze consumer feedback to make strategic decisions. I spoke with another individual. His background is in industrial engineering, and he's now a financial analyst for an insurance company too, working on the claims department. He's come up with solutions to balance the workload on claims agents. He's come up with solutions to find money in salvage vehicles that wasn't being maximized. So we hope that you too will be able to use a program like the Masters in Business Analytics to have higher confidence in being part of a business. And as what we'll look at today also is that business analytics is being used more and more in different work capacities for businesses to make strategic decisions. My name is Linda Harding. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions here at Northeastern University. I've been here since 2008, and it's my privilege and pleasure to work with candidates who are considering our programs for working professionals. And Peter and Jared, why don't you both introduce yourselves as well?
I am Peter Tarasevich, and I'm a professor of business analytics here at Northeastern University in the Moore McKim School of Business. I've actually been here about 15 years now, although I started in the College of Computer and Information Science, and just last year I switched over and started this program up in business analytics, so I'm really pleased to be here.
Peter, what had you actually decide to move over to business analytics? I know that's an area of your expertise, but why did you move over to the Moore McKim School of Business?
My background is very interdisciplinary. I started as an engineer and a computer scientist, and I did, after that, an MBA in information systems, and then I got a PhD in operations and information management, which deals with a lot of applied mathematics and analytics, basically. I've always liked a combination of the different areas, and that's what first attracted me, I think, to the computer science school. They had a program at the time that kind of mixed business with computer science, and now I'm over here starting a new program as well. So it just kind of fits with what I do.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Jared?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jared Pierce. I'm the Senior Assistant Director of Enrollment Services for the Professional Advancement Network. And my role is to help work with our applicants as well as enrollment coaching team to make sure that you as a student get all the information you need in order to be successful in the application and admissions process, finding out which program works best for you, and really helping you through that decision-making process to start with a program. I've been here at Northeastern since 2012, and it's really great to be with you all today.
Jared, what do you love most about your role?
The best thing about my role is really working with different students from all walks of life. You made a great point, Linda, earlier that, you know, this program is a great fit for a lot of working professionals, and with that opportunity, you get to meet so many different kinds of students from different backgrounds and how they plan to use business analytics to be successful in their specific industry. So I think that's one of the best parts of my role, being able to hear from students and really help make their decision process easier.
I agree with you. I think one of the favorite parts about my role as well is hearing the success stories. So let's go over what we will be covering in this web seminar. We want to give you a sense of what makes Northeastern University unique. So why take your MS in Business Analytics from the Northeastern DeMoore McKim School of Business? Typically, who you could find in the program, are you a good candidate, what you'll learn and how you'll benefit, and we'll have Jared end by telling you a little bit more on how you may be able to apply to this program. So, here at the DeMoore McKim, the world of business is not something we just sit back and teach. It's really something we lean into and live. Our reputation's built on the rigorous fusion of academics with real-world application. So we're best known for having a hands-on approach to business. Many of our students say what they learn in the classroom they can apply the next day in their own work environment. The second point is the relationship with our business partners really allows us to bring you an education in trending topics and just-in-time practice. And our faculty expertise, many of our faculty here at the DeMoore McKim School of Business are considered pioneers in their field. Many of our recent hires have been in the field of business analytics. Our curriculum is very hands-on, very project-based curriculum. So what advantage does that give you? Well, it gives you a real framework to be able to design and execute business strategies, for you to be able to feel confident in communicating and effectively communicating your projects and to move them through the organization. And most importantly, be able to analyze opportunities for solutions and new markets, all really resulting for you in giving you higher visibility within your company. For recent college graduates, it would allow you to really build your resume and, again, show that you have this strength specifically in models and frameworks and analytics. Northeastern is known for our relationship with our business partners. Here's just a quick slide to show you some of the companies we work very closely with. These would be some of the same companies where we hope that you, specifically in insurance, in finance, in consumer goods, these are all companies that are providing opportunities or growth in the field of analytics. So let's talk a little bit about, why we're pointing you toward business analytics. It's really from the result or feedback from these companies. Once or twice a year, executives sit down with our faculty and say, listen, professor, these are the challenges our industry is facing. Tell me, how are you going to address these challenges? I know we had an insurance company about 10 years ago, a big global company, 10,000 employees, that said, we're going to start going through a transformation process. We're competing with online insurance companies. How can we be more effective? How can we cut our costs? How can we create products and services that are more relevant? And 5 years ago, they said their answer was going to be through analytics. So where there was a department of one person specifically working with data analytics, in 5 years that department has grown to 50 people working specifically in the field of analytics. And they're recruiting heavily from different schools and vocations to fill those roles. Peter, I'm going to turn it over to you and Jared so that you can go more into depth about how the MS in Business Analytics works.
Great. Thanks, Linda. So to start, Peter, we'd love to hear from you if you could just give us an overview of the Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Sure. Thanks, Linda and Jared. I'd just start off with just the definition of what our program is. And this is a program designed to provide students with analytical skills, tools, and techniques required to understand data sets. And we're not just talking about big data, but big data and small data. It doesn't matter what size of data. We want to use it if it's valuable to us. And this is data from all sources, both internal data, data that the organizations generated themselves, and maybe data they've gotten from a government source outside the organization or from another company, or maybe they've hired somebody to collect data for them. We then use the understanding of the data to support business decision-making. And what we want as an overall goal is to create a measurable improvement in business performance. We're not doing this, we're not analyzing data just to see what we get and have some fun doing it. We're actually trying to improve our business as we analyze the data. The data doesn't give us something we can use. Maybe we don't want to use the data at all.
Great.
What makes our specific program unique, a couple other points I'd just like to add, is that we reflect on real-world problems and solutions. There are many options out there that you can look at for analytics, and things are called by different names. Just in business analytics now, you have choices of different programs at different universities. But we are fully focused on real-world business problems and solutions. You are trained to analyze problems, find problems, find the data you need to solve the problems, and find the solution. We're building on our own expertise at the university in experiential learning and job placement. This university is rated #1 in those areas, and we're going to focus on that in this degree as well. And while students are going to learn, well, you will learn about quantitative analysis techniques, visualization, data modeling, information management. Everything will be done in the context of business problem solving.
Wonderful. So Peter, could you talk to us a little bit more about who your ideal candidate is for the program and who you want to be sitting in your virtual classroom?
Certainly. This is designed for a couple different groups. Primarily, we're looking at working professionals who wish to update or enhance their formal education and understand data-driven decision-making. So this is somebody who is currently working. This is an online program. This is something that is very flexible in terms of when you can take courses, how you can take courses. It's meant to serve the needs of the working professional who wants to expand their skill set and stay up to date. Learning is an ongoing process. You're not going to get your degree and that's going to be it for the rest of your life. You need to continually update yourself and acquire the skills you need to either stay at your current job and move forward, or maybe look for another job or something parallel or a little bit different than what you're currently doing. So this will provide you with business analytics skills, add to your skill set. Maybe it'll increase your marketability and potential job opportunities. Also, if you're a recent graduate, maybe you went through, got a degree, and you say, well, I like what I studied, and there's some job opportunities out there for me, but if I add the knowledge of being able to work with these data sets and kind of add to the dimension of my current degree, it opens up a couple more doors for me. Also like to mention at this point that our program is designed in a way that you don't need a formal business education before you join the program. You don't need an undergraduate degree in business. You don't need an MBA already. We will teach you what you need to know through the courses that we offer. So any background that you need will be given with the program itself. And you don't need to have a degree in computer science or have a lot of technical expertise or a degree in mathematics for this program. If you need the skills, those skills will be taught to you. You'll have the resources needed to learn the skills. We're not focusing on the technical or mathematical end of things. You will learn part of that is what you do, but it is not the core of what you do. You're looking at problems. You're going to take data sets, learn how to analyze those data sets, and use the results to solve business problems.
Wonderful. So could you help our potential students understand a little bit more about the curriculum in the program and what classes and information they'll be learning in these tracks?
Certainly. The degree is set up in 10 courses. There are 6 core courses in business analytics, and we have 3 courses in what we're calling a functional area track, and then a capstone course. I'll say a little bit about each one of those. There's a kind of a matrix there on the screen that shows the first 6 course names. These are the analytics course, and are divided by kind of qualitative courses and quantitative courses on the right. First course is an intro to business analytics. This course is actually very unique, and we think it may be unique in all the programs that are out there right now. It's going to introduce you to business analytics as a whole and show you how it's applied in different business functional areas, all in the span of one course. So you may not know too much about business at all when you come in. You may not know anything about business analytics, but when you get on with that course, you'll have a broad understanding of the different problems that are out there in business and the different techniques that are part of business analytics and how you can use those to solve problems. You're doing a lot of case studies and case analyses in there. Once you take that broad overview, you'll take some additional courses. Either there's a couple in design and management of information. That one will tell you how to go in and manage data, retrieve data, look at information quality, things of that nature. And another course is all about information visualization. Visualization is great and very useful and really necessary in analytics because it helps you to look at data, the raw data, before you analyze it and see if you can find some patterns and recognize something that may be useful right off the bat. And we also want to be able to present our results in a very positive, succinct way to other people, to managers, to stakeholders, to our customers, to our stockholders, whoever that person is that needs to understand what we came up with and how we support our decision. The other courses on the right-hand side, the three there, there's a Foundations of Data Analysis, Analytic Techniques and Method, and Applied Business Analytics. Those three courses will take you through the more quantitative aspects of business analytics. They'll take you through statistical methods. They will take you through data mining. They will take you through regression, forecasting, optimization, simulation, decision analysis, a lot of things that go into analytics themselves. After that, you'll have a choice of a track. Our first track being offered will be marketing. After that, we have plans for finance, supply chain, information design, and many others that fit with the expertise that's found in the Moore-McKim School. You'll be able to pick three of those. You might take those kind of interspersed with the other courses that you take. Those courses will have their own content, but they'll build upon the courses you've already taken as well. And then there's the capstone course. We hope this will be something that will pull together everything you've done so far in the degree program. It will be an experiential learning experience. Usually it will be a project of some sort, either a sponsored project through a company. It could be a local company. It could be a global company. We work with a lot of companies at Northeastern, as you've seen already. This will also be something that's customized to the individual student. So what do you want to do? Maybe you're working in a certain company and you want to stay there. What's going to be the best project for you to do under those circumstances? If not, we'll find something that interests you in the area that you are most interested in going into after you graduate. So find something that works for you and find a company that's a good fit and give you a real good experience at the end of the program.
So recently, you just mentioned, Peter, as well as Linda earlier, that Northeastern University and Moore-McKim School of Business is really known for its experiential learning. So if you talk a little bit more about how business analytics in this program is specifically experiential?
Yeah, experiential learning plays a large part in our program and all the programs at Moore-McKim and at Northeastern as a whole. This, again, is an online program, but we can still integrate a lot of experiential learning within an online program. We'll have real-world scenarios and cases in each of the courses. Projects might be done in virtual teams, and you can have team members. You'll have students in the course that could really come from any part of the United States or the world. Students can come from anywhere. It's a virtual course. It doesn't matter where people are. They can still participate in the course, and you'll be able to work with them in a virtual environment. There'll be discussion boards. You'll also be able to share experiences and expertise. That way, you'll get to know your classmates. You'll share things with them. You'll learn from that. We will have corporate guest lectures and seminars. Instead of having them in a physical room, we'll have them in a virtual room. Very similar, something that's done quite a bit nowadays. We'll bring in, we know lots of people in the industry. We're going to tap into that for you. We'll have real-world class projects. So before you even get to your capstone project, you'll be working with corporate sponsors on different projects. And then you get to the capstone again, and that'll be something that is very personalized and definitely works with real-world data in real companies that are out there with problems. It won't be something canned. It'll be something that somebody will come to you and say, hey, we have something we need solved. Do you think you can take a stab at it and help us with it?
So one thing that's really important to a lot of prospective students is what knowledge and key skills will I be getting out of this program? How is this going to help me either in my current role or maybe in a future role if I've just graduated? Can you kind of go over what key skills and knowledge that our students are going to obtain in this program?
There are quite a few things that you'll come out of with this program, and we like to look at those as a set of core competencies is the way we're framing those. You'll have a set of analytical skills and be able to use tools required to understand and analyze data sets. So contemporary data, traditional data, data of all sorts. And you'll be able to analyze these data sets in their organizational and managerial context. Again, everything is done within a business context. There's the knowledge to integrate the use of descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. There's also a heavy emphasis on visualization. So we have statistical techniques that are used that you'll use to analyze data, but we're also making sure you know how to use visualization effectively. You'll understand about information management skills needed to manage data in its raw form. So being able to work with data from a database, go through and ensure its data quality, know how to pull in data from an external source, know how to merge 2 different sources or 20 different sources of data together, no matter where they come from, internal or external. Other core competencies are the foresight to act on relevant data. So part of a business analytics is not just taking a data set and running it through and trying to use it on a problem that exists. It may be relevant, it may not be. You need to understand what data might help you and what data might not. You also need to figure out, well, if I use this data, how am I going to measure business success? And can I achieve measurable business success when I actually use that data as part of my analysis and part of my decision-making process? You'll understand the skills and knowledge needed to incorporate data effectively and timely into your decisions. You have to realize that maybe it's not worth it sometimes to acquire data. Decisions take time. Time is of the essence. Time is money. You need to understand all the different parts of a business decision and what goes into it. And again, finishing up with the ability to recognize the consequences of not only using but not using data to support business decisions. So there may be instances where you definitely want to use data that you can get a hold of in your decision. You might want to also look at, what if I don't use data? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? You really need to understand that business decisions can be very complex. Any decision can be complex, and there's a lot of different alternatives to consider.
And then what kind of job opportunities are available to graduates of a business analytics program? This is a really important, decision-making tool for prospective students. Could you elaborate on that?
Sure. There's going to be 2 types of people that we foresee taking this degree program. So some people are going to be with a current employer, and they desire to stay with that employer. The other is going to be somebody who is maybe looking at switching jobs or has an undergraduate degree and maybe is still deciding on a career path and hasn't chosen a specific career path yet. But either way, a lot of the positions that are open are some kind of information analyst where somebody's working with data. There's a lot of different terms out there. Analyst is a common one. You'll see analytics engineering. You'll see consulting. You'll see specialists, all kinds of different variations on the same theme. And some different companies will specialize the term analyst or analytics specifically for the industry that they're in. Also, some people will be managers of people or the process of business analytics. So you might be a manager of business analytics. You might change career paths or growth paths and become a business analytics manager and then work toward being something or some person as a chief data officer when you're all done.
And then what companies are currently using business analytics?
Everybody is using business analytics. That's the nice thing. That's the amazing thing, really. Companies, large, small, public, private, startups, well-established companies that have been around hundreds of years are all realizing the need for business analytics, the need to integrate data and to use it well, to use it for decision-making purposes. Some industries that are seeing very strong growth in the use of business analytics, I've listed there, financial, investments, banking, retail industries of all different sorts, health services, management, accounting for auditing purposes, entertainment, music, movies, video games, transportation, package delivery, logistics. Any of the big package delivery companies use business analytics quite extensively. And travel, another big industry that uses analytics for marketing purposes and filling seats and management of customers, airlines, cruise ships, trains, and public transportation as well. Our own public transportation systems here at Boston use analytics to try to be more efficient and to increase customer satisfaction.
Great. Thank you so much, Peter, for giving us that overview and in-depth knowledge about our MS and business analytics. For those who are thinking about what's my next step, some of you may have already started an application, or maybe you haven't. Maybe you're still thinking about whether this is a good fit. Hopefully this presentation today has provided you an overview and the details needed to help start making that decision. So whether you need to complete it or start your application, you can do so right online. The application process is pretty standard. You'll be providing us your undergraduate transcript, as well as a statement of purpose outlining why you're interested in business analytics, what you hope to gain from the program, as well as a professional resume outlining your professional experience, or if you're a new grad, what experience you've had in your undergraduate degree program. You'll be providing 2 letters of recommendation, both professional or academic, and if English is not your primary language, an official TOEFL or IELTS score. So our next cohort is set to begin on May 8th, so we are still currently accepting applications for this cohort. The great thing about an online program is that it doesn't take as long in order to get started. So you can go ahead and start your application and still begin for May 8th. If you do have any questions about the application or admissions process or anything you might have learned about today, we have an enrollment coaching team that's available to assist you in that process and decide whether business analytics really is the right fit for you. So feel free to get in touch with our enrollment coaching team, and that information will be provided with you in the email sent.
Peter and Jared, just before we sign off, is there a sentence or two of advice or a tip that you could give someone who's considering this program? And I know I threw that question at you. I know you're hearing this question for the first time, but if there's a tip or advice for someone who's even considering it, what would you say to them?
Analytics is very important to businesses nowadays. If you're working for a company and you want to get more involved in decision making and you like to work with data, you want to see how things are done, you want to have a significant impact on decisions that are made within a company, this is a program that will help you do that.
Great. And from an admissions standpoint, a lot of times our online application and the things that are required to complete that can be somewhat daunting or nerve-wracking for students. I think it's just important to note that this process is in place for us to be able to evaluate you, but also we look at every piece. That's why we require many different types of documents. We're looking at your undergrad experience, your resume, your statement of purpose to really understand you as a whole student. So don't let that application process scare you away. It's an easy process and one that we will be able to help you with, and you have an enrollment coach available to you to help you kind of walk through that process if need be.
And I would say too, my last tip would be, if you're considering strengthening your resume, this would be a great way to do it. If I go on to Indeed.com or I go on LinkedIn, I'm looking at jobs over and over again. I'm seeing manager of analytics or manager of business analytics or looking for something like that in the background. So we really invite you to move forward with the Northeastern